Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be talking about a company that deep down we all love. No, you idiots, it's Nintendo. Which, fun fact, Nintendo is actually 120 years old, so yeah.
Nintendo has seen it all.
With that out of the way, let's get right into it. Nintendo was founded in 1899 by Fusajiro Yamauchi. The company was originally named Yamanouchi Nintendo, which might I say was a bit of a power trip by Yamauchi. The first thing Nintendo sold was a playing card game called Hanafuda. These were playing cards that could be used to play many different games, much like our playing cards here in America. Speaking of American playing cards, Yamauchi started producing them in Japan in 1902. These were originally meant for exporting to America, but the product became so popular in Japan that Yamauchi started to keep them for himself and sell them to the people of Japan. This business eventually became so popular that the newly named Nintendo Playing Card Company was the top manufacturer for plastic playing cards in all of Japan by 1953. This was, however, sadly after Fusajiro Yamauchi's death in 1940. In 1959, Nintendo took the first step into children's entertainment by printing the Walt Disney characters on their cards. They then sold these cards to the children of Japan. In 1963, Nintendo started selling games as well as cards. I assume this means board games, as Pong was only released in 1972. In 1973, Nintendo developed a laser clay shooting system, which is something I never thought I would be saying about Nintendo. Finally, in 1977, Nintendo released their first games appropriately titled TV Game. These titles ran all the way up until about 1980, with about 16 TV games being released from what I could find. In 1981, Nintendo released their first arcade game that featured both a certain plumber and a certain ape. This game was Donkey Kong, and it was a massive success. This game became the quickest selling piece of media that was coin-operated at the time extremely fast. Overall, this game made about $4.6 million. If the sale price to play the game was at about a quarter, then this means about 18 million people played this game. These are very impressive numbers for an 80s video game. In 1984, Nintendo released their first ever game console that was originally titled the Famicom, but we all know as the NES. I guess formally it was known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, but nobody really called it that except for that weird kid Billy down the street. Watching you, Billy. Wait, Billy, no! Moving on, this system had titles like Super Mario Bros., Excitebike, The Legend of Zelda, and many more. All of these were massive successes that earned Nintendo a lot of money. Nintendo has also since released a hands-free version of the controller for people with disabilities to use. I think this was an amazing move from Nintendo. This really does show that Nintendo thinks everyone should be able to enjoy themselves. Around this time as well, the amount of games available for the NES grew to 65. In the next year, Nintendo released the Game Boy. This was a system that could be used by putting interchangeable cartridges in the back. This was home to many games such as Pokemon and the original Tetris. In 1992, Nintendo officially released the Super Nintendo. This was the first 16-bit console that Nintendo had released. This system was also home to such great games like the second Legend of Zelda and Super Mario World. This system also saw the rise of a type of way to render graphics called ACM. The first game on the system to use this was Donkey Kong Country. In 1997, the Nintendo 64 was released alongside Mario 64. This was the first 3D rendering console that Nintendo had put out. This was also the first system to have vibrations within the controller, although you did need an extra rumble pack to do that. Next, in 2005, the Nintendo DS was released, which was this portable console that had 2 screens and sold extremely well. This made Nintendo about $2 billion in total. In 2006, the Wii was officially released. The Wii used motion controls in most games that felt just awesome to use. In 2011, the 3DS was released. This was like the DS, but it had a 3D option in it, which made it infinitely better. But then the 2DS was released, which everyone hated. And if you think that I'm wrong, you're wrong. But besides that, everyone loved pretty much everything Nintendo did. So how could this go wrong? Nope. In reality, Nintendo has stayed the same great company that it's always been. There has been one more product that Nintendo has released, however. This product is the Switch. This is quite possibly the best system Nintendo has ever put out. This system can be played in two ways. The first way is on the TV, like a normal console. The second way to play is handheld, like a Nintendo DS. This, paired with many great games, has made it one of the most popular consoles within recent years. So far, the Switch has made about $15 billion in total. The only thing they've done poorly is the paid online they've rolled out almost randomly. But besides that, Nintendo has done an amazing job with the Switch. Nintendo was started very long ago and originated doing something very different than they do now. Despite this, they've managed to do something that was so new at the time so wonderfully and flawlessly. I think this has to do with the fact that Nintendo really does care about their fan base. I really hope you liked this, and if you did, well then I would appreciate a subscription, and I will see you all in the next one.